Welcome back to Index Card of Day 2017 with me, Creative Katie. We are on card or day 26, and I've called it To Have Faith. Check the links in the description box for supplies used. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the gear and set the notification to be notified of upcoming videos. That way you won't miss any. Hi everybody, Creative Katie here, and I am doing number 26, and I'm still kind of off prompt. Not because I don't like the prompt, just because I'm inspired by, again, what I'm seeing in my yard. We are being visited by Rufus hummingbirds and Anna hummingbirds, and they put on quite the show, and they just bring me no end of joy. So I have some stamps and stuff and stencils with hummingbirds, but I found this little hummingbird in my stash, in my bugs and birds folder. And so I decided, I'm going to use it. And then I found this lovely pink flower, and this was actually attached at some point in time. So I think what I'm going to do, which is not my usual in any way, shape, or form, is to basically collage this on, and I'll piece some of that flower, and I'm thinking either to leave the background white, which again is not my usual, or maybe put it yellow. So in order to test this out, what I decided to do is just get some yellow, and I choose this Naples yellow, which is a rather softer, more muted type of yellow. It doesn't really show that way on the video, but it is one of my favorite yellows to use. And I'm just applying this to the background. Worst case scenario, I'm going to end up with a yellow card that I'm not going to use right now, but I'll use it for something else. As I'm doing this, I did have the thought afterwards that I could have done something a little more fancy. I could have put the yellow paint there. I could have picked several shades of yellow and did some smooshing, and that would have looked lovely in the background as well. I just didn't want to make the background too busy. I really wanted it to highlight the hummingbird. So as soon as I put the clematis on there, like the yellow in the middle just seems to make it pop. So I'm going to go with the yellow, which is no more my thing than going with the white. But part of doing the index card a day is to push your limits and to try new things. But I'm thinking I need something to add something to it. It's just very flat, and I'm just not used to that. And I know that most of it's going to get covered up when I collage on the magazine pictures. But I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to collage from this bubble stencil. This is a Donna Downey bubble stencil. But I don't want to do any color because, again, I don't want to take away from the focal image in this case. So what I end up using is iridescent medium. It's an Artist Loft brand. Other companies make it. And I'm just applying it on through the stencil with a makeup sponge. And it's just going to give that little bit of sheen. It's very, very subtle. This iridescent medium, if you mix it with other colors of acrylics or any kind of pigment, like magicals or scraped Inktense blocks, distress crayons, gelatos, it will take on the color and be iridescent at the same time. So one tube of this, you can use it to have a bunch of iridescent. And I really like the effect of this. It's subtle, but it's there. I kind of wish, in retrospect, that I had given it another layer of gesso because I can see the numbers from the background, and you know, it is what it is. So after giving this a dry, and you can really see that iridescent, it's a lovely effect. Another thing I could have done here to add some interest to the background would have been to have put some tissue paper on, and then it would be kind of crinkly underneath the yellow. So it would have added that, just a little bit of texture. So now I spend a lot of time moving these flowers around, moving the hummingbird around. Um, the orientation of the picture and the hummingbird don't officially match. So I've had to do some slicing and dicing and patching to make it appear like it's a picture together. Packer Dye is an artist. You can watch her YouTube channel. She does a lot of collage, and she, has turned collage really into an art form. She does some amazing things. So if you're interested in that, please check out her videos. And I'm just coating this with gel medium because I plan to add some details. One of the things that I do when I do collage, and I haven't done collage for a very long time, when I did journaling by fives, I did more collage and used the techniques that I'm using now quite a bit. But I haven't done that for a good year plus. Kind of evolved into different style. But I have this file folder full of filing cabinet full of cutout magazine pictures and stuff that I source. I go through the magazines and I cut them and I file them under categories. And there's a video that shows how I've organized them if you're interested in. It's a system that continues to work for me, so I highly recommend it. So I'm just kind of cutting some petals, matching petals, from the leftover bits, just to make it look like it's more perfect. So I'm just applying that with gel medium. And I apologize for the shadow on here. Today was a good day in the studio. Today was a good day, productive day everywhere. We've been painting or staining our fence, and so that's been happening every day, every day, every day. And it happened today, and I promised myself that as soon as I got down the 3 panels, I got studio time. And since, I've been kind of out of the studio for a bit, first we took a little mini vacation, and then we've been busy with the yard stuff. It just felt really good to be back. I found this quote that says, "To have faith is to have wings." And I really liked that quote. Thinking that I maybe put it on top of the flower, but go back to my plan B. I'm just still thinking the background is too plain. But, we've discussed a couple ways that I could have changed that up. If you don't have magazines, I don't buy magazines, but, you can get them from all over the place. Just put the word out to your friends and neighbors, even the doctor's offices when they're done with them. Some recycling places have a stack, people bring them, and then you can just go and grab them. That's what I did. Edging this with black, I want to make the black kind of goes well with the darkness in the hummingbird in the middle of the flower. And I'm edging the quote as well. The thing about finding your own quotes is that when you put them on your art journal pages or your ICADs, they, are a little bit more personalized and individualized than if it's from a stamp set that, how many people can buy. Giving this a quick dry, because I want the gel medium to be very dry before I do the next step. This ICAD took about 30 minutes in completion. One of the things I do with the ICADs, I sit down and when I'm in, get the prompts or I have inspiration and I write it down, when I go and check the Pinterest board and I collect quotes and then I type them up and I print off a sheet of a wide variety that may work and I play with it. And, even while I wasn't able to get into the studio, I was able to do that. So that was kind of at the ready. So here I've grabbed my Inktense pencil and and it's kind of the Shiraz color. It's a dark burgundy and I'm outlining the flower. Now remember I put gel medium on this. So this is much the same as the Stabilo All Pencil in that it is water activated and I'm going to use it to shade and highlight. Now I've also colored in where the pink is in the middle of the flower just to darken that. And I find using the Inktense blocks or the pencils great for just adding that bit of color or altering it completely when you have a magazine cut out or free printable for that matter, especially something that has glossy when you put the gel medium on top. I wish I had taken a picture of it before I did this detailing and after, just for comparison's sake. I really think it pumped it up a lot. So don't be afraid to alter what the magazine gives you. I see, yes, this was someone else's art, someone else's picture, but I am honoring it by using it. So when you're collaging, you can take a piece from here and a piece from there and put them together. Now I'm thinking, I've got that apple green, and I notice the green on the hummingbird is there, but I would like it a little bit more vivid. I'm just pumping up the colors a little bit more. Kind of like when you alter pictures in the edit program. You can, apply different filters. Make his beak stand out a little bit more. I'm quite happy with how this hummingbird looks. I thought he would get lost within the picture, but he stands out quite nicely. And I do a few more things to make him stand out even more. So once that's dry, I'm just taking my micron pen and I'm outlining the hummingbird. And this just adds that little extra detail. I don't want it to be too bold, so I'm kind of sketchy about it, but I'm adding some definition to the wings, to the feathers on his chest. When I've seen the hummingbirds in my yard, you can just almost see the little C's in the feathers. Not a little fussy editing, fussy finishing, but it makes the world a difference. So this is number 26. And, thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy these close-ups. I'm really happy with this ICAD, the color selection, especially when I crop it like this. It makes me happy. If you haven't tried collaging, give it a try. Hope you enjoyed as much as I do. Bye for now.